Hello, I'm going to show you a series of exercises called pendulum exercises. Sometimes they're called Codman's exercise, but they're more well known as pendulum exercises. And for this exercise, I'm just going to lean over some sturdy piece of furniture. Okay, this is something not flimsy, something you're not going to knock over. What I'm going to do, I have a 2.5-pound weight in my hand, not a very heavy weight. I tend not to say go over 5 pounds. 5 pounds is the upper limit to the weight you can use for this exercise. And I'll just go through these exercises first, and I'll kind of explain the reasoning behind them later. I'm going to move this camera a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm leaning over this dresser, again, sturdy piece of furniture, and I'm just letting it swing, okay? Anywhere from, 15 repetitions to 25. And the way I count them is, so from here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. on to 25 repetitions, if you can. What I wouldn't do is count from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be too fast. You'd get done with these too fast. So the first one is just front and back. Front and back, kind of like a bowling motion. The second one is, I'll lean over here so you can see what I'm going left and right. It's kind of hard for you to see from this angle, but I'm going left to right, left to right. Same idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. If you look at it from this perspective, I'm going left to right. Lean over something though. The camera is at such an angle that you can't see what I'm doing without me. You'd be leaning over something. So that's the second one. The first one, again, to repeat, front to back, back and front to back. The second one is left to right. Okay. The third and fourth one are similar. Well, they're identical, actually. One of them just circles one way. So you won't see my head anymore, but so circles, let's say clockwise. Okay. Again, 25. Circles clockwise. And then the last one, the fourth one, is circles counterclockwise. Okay. Now, what's the point of these? These are really gentle exercises. These are very gentle exercises. We sometimes use these right after surgery, like the day after you get out of surgery. You can even do them, actually, a lot of times you can do them even with a broken arm. Okay. Some things to keep in mind here, if you're having problems doing them, there's usually one of two things that's going wrong. Either you're making the arc too big. Okay, so this is a very small part of this gigantic arc from 180 degrees to 0 to even 60 degrees behind your back. You're going maybe 30 degrees, like this is 0 to 30 degrees. Really small arc. Same way this way. This is a very small part of this gigantic arc way up here, which is more than half a circle. That's almost 270 degrees. It's almost a full circle. Again, you're only making about a 30-degree arc here. Not a very big arc. Okay. So that's the first thing, is size. For the circles, you're kind of limited here because if you make them too big, you start banging your knee with the weight. So some of these you're going to have a natural block. You're going to start hitting things if you do them too wide. So you can make them small. You can make them narrow. For the lines, like for the front and back ones, if I have like a pen in my hand, I'm drawing like a line in the floor. Really short line, not a big line. Same way for the side-to-side one. It can be a really narrow line. For the circles, it's like a little circle, not a big giant circle. Again, because you risk hitting yourself with this if you do them too wide. Okay, so that's the first one. If it hurts to make them too wide like this, make them narrower. The second thing is speed. You want to go slow. It takes about a second to do each of these repetitions, like a full second. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and so on and so forth. So again, like sometimes what people are doing without knowing it is they're going really fast like this. That's going to put a lot of strain on your shoulder. If your shoulder's really reactive, you'll probably be increasing the inflammation in it. And again, like so like the circles, go slow circles. It takes about a second to do each of these. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and so on and so forth. The third thing is kind of the hardest. It's the hardest to explain. But this one, your body's pretty much doing all the work here. Like I don't know if you noticed, but I'm leaning very slightly back and forth when I do this. For the left and right, when I'm leaning kind of left and right. Because my body is providing the power here. Like for the circles, I'm kind of shifting my weight in a circular fashion. The way I like to think about this is, like, let's say this arm is paralyzed. Like, if left to its own device, it'll just flop around. Okay, that's what you want to feel with this exercise. If I don't move at all, my body doesn't move. If I start moving, my body does start moving. Or my arm starts moving, sorry. Okay, so those are some things to think about if they do end up hurting you. And to kind of state the obvious, like I gave you a 15 to 25 repetition range for each of those exercises. If you can do 15 without pain, try going up to 25. You don't need to do more than 25 of these. It's not going to hurt you if you do more. Just people tend not to need more than... It runs from 60 to 100 repetitions. If you do 15 times 4 equals 60. 25 times 4 equals 100. That's enough. Like that's pretty much all you need. You can do more if you want, sure. The only thing you're doing is wasting your time. If you want to do more, by all means do it. These are really gentle exercises, so you're very unlikely to hurt yourself by doing too many repetitions. It's more about just being efficient. You can do these 2 or 3 times a day, like spaced out throughout the day. So you can do it once in the morning, once in the afternoon, once at night. Can you do more times a day? Sure. It usually doesn't, unless you have a really major injury or like right out of surgery or something, you might only want to stick to 2 or 3 times a day. But, most of the time people they can tolerate more times per day because, again, these are really gentle exercises. They call them passive. Active is when this arm here is, my muscles are moving. My muscles are moving. My right shoulder muscles are activating and moving it around. That would be moving actively. The way to do it, which I explained before, is do it passively. Like my body is kind of doing all the work. It doesn't take much body movement to get your arm going. Your body as a whole is way heavier than one arm. So your body doesn't need to move a lot. You're not doing lunges or something like this. Like that's an unnecessarily fast motion. It's almost like your arm's paralyzed. You gotta, as much as possible, turn your arm muscles off. The reason, in case you're wondering, the reason you're leaning over a piece of furniture like that is because you want to get this. Move the camera. Yeah, you want to, like if I'm standing ramrod straight, my arm is right by my hip bone here. Okay. See that? You can do one of these exercises. You can do the front and back one like this if you're standing ramrod straight. You can't do the left to right one because I'm hitting myself. You can't do the circles because you're going to hit yourself. So one of the reasons you're leaning over something is that you're just clearing space for yourself to do them. The other odder reason is you want to make a small space between your elbow and your rib cage here. Okay, your elbow on your side. This is actually a really comfortable position for your shoulder. Believe it or not, your shoulder actually gets strained when it's completely subject to gravity. Meaning, like when I'm standing ramrod straight, like all the weight of the tendons, muscle, bone, they're all being pulled directly down. When my arm is hanging at about a 30-degree angle like this, it actually eases a lot of the ligaments and all the stuff that makes up your shoulders, tendons. If you're watching this, you probably have rotator cuff tendonitis. The rotator cuff tendons they're offloaded, so to speak. Gravity is sort of eliminated from a lot of your tendons in this position. So That's a really long-winded way of saying like lean over something. People have a tendency to want to do them standing up, and like when I'm standing up here, I have to, whether I know it or not, I have to like activate these muscles to avoid hitting myself. And again, you want as much as possible to turn these muscles off. Okay, so lean over something. Like your body's doing all the work. I tend to like using again like a 2-pound weight. No more than 5 pounds, because the weight of the weight, it's almost like a wrecking ball. It actually helps maintain the motion. Okay. Yeah. Once you get the motion going, it's like a body in motion tends to stay in motion. That's like high school physics class. That's what's happening here. Like I'm doing very minimal to no effort in this shoulder to keep it going. So like again, if you think about that like paralyzed arm like analogy, like if it's just sitting here, it's not going to move. Like I can move it with this arm, and it'll swing for a while, then it'll eventually stop. That's the idea here. You want to make it really, really, really kind of fluid. So that's it. You can't do this without a weight. Like sometimes the weight itself is too much. Again, I mean if you're doing like 2 pounds or a pound or something, I don't think your arm already weighs 7 to 10 pounds. Most arms weigh 7 to 10 pounds. So you're only adding a little more weight to them. But yeah, like let's say you're doing a 2-pound weight. Oh, that hurts. Okay. Try a 1-pound weight or a soup can. If you don't have weights at home, I would use something like a soup can because that's about a pound. Not much weight at all. Like a gallon, not a gallon of milk. Like a half gallon of milk is 4 pounds. So you could get a half gallon of something. That doesn't have to be milk. It could be water. You can get an empty gallon of milk and just fill it halfway with water. That's 4 pounds. Yeah, but if that hurts, just don't even use a weight. So there's nothing in my hand here. I'm doing an unweighted pendulum. Same idea though. Left to right, up and or back and front and back, circles. So those are all things to think about when you're doing these. Again, this should be a really easy exercise. I tell my patients, if it seems like it's too easy, it's probably because it is. This tends to be one of the first exercises we start therapy with. It's really good for really reactive, painful shoulders. That there's a whole lot of exercises that will probably make your pain worse if you have a really reactive, meaning like inflamed, bruised, painful shoulder. This exercise, the point of it is to reduce some of the inflammation. You should feel better when you do this after you're done. If you're feeling worse after you do this exercise, you probably did, again, one of those things wrong. Either you went too fast, you made it too big, the arc's too big, or you didn't use your body to lead it. Or you're adding, if you have like 10 pounds in your hand or 20 pounds or something, that's probably what happened. That's probably what was wrong with it. And again, to kind of sound like a broken record, you can do anywhere from 15 to 25. If for some reason even 15 repetitions hurt of that exercise, go down to like 10 or something. If that hurts, go to 8. I mean, to try reducing the repetitions until you can get to doing them without, again, increasing your pain. As far as the pain levels go, if you have no pain at rest, like this shouldn't cause pain. If you have some pain at rest, like let's say you have like 2 out of 10 pain at rest, the pain should not go over 2 out of 10. Like at the very least, it shouldn't increase your pain. If it does, I'm going to sound like a broken record. Do one of those things we tried before. Reduce the range, reduce the speed. Make your body do all the work. And the pain should not. The pain should start going down again. Like let's say it's at 2 out of 10 pain. Like the pain shouldn't go up. The pain should actually go down after you're done with these. Like you should feel looser when you're done with these. Don't be shocked. Don't be surprised if it is actually hard to do the first day or two you try these. Your body actually gets, this is a skill you develop, like kind of how, baseball batters, like they don't just hit homers, hitting them out of the ballpark with no practice. Like they practice many hours of their waking lives. Like, like I'm not saying this is a really hard exercise. I'm not like hitting fastballs, but your body gets better at this the more you do it. Like your brain actually learns how to make your arm swing more fluidly without increasing the inflammation. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that exercise. Again, some common, some basics here is go slow, go slow, go slow, short distance. Let your body do all the work. You know, don't have too much weight in your hand. You know, stick to 25 repetitions maximum for each exercise. You know, and yeah, you should do good. Okay, see you later.